Happy Friday, people! I'm so excited to bring you this masterclass today. I have so much to talk about this topic. I have so much to teach you. I feel like these are things I've never mentioned a lot before this week, that I've been talking a little bit about massive action, but it is one of the foundations that helps my clients achieve amazing, magical, like knocked out of the park kind of results. So I hope you're ready. I hope you have your prettiest journal and your most comfortable pen, maybe some water and a smoothie, which I thought I was going to have it by the time I was hosting this masterclass, but I've had like 4 client sessions before this, and I'm just like sipping on my smoothie as I come, as the time comes. So no smoothie for me. It's done. But it was really good. For those of you who drink smoothies, you may think it's disgusting, but it was really good to me. It was coconut milk, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, cashew butter, organic cashew butter, chia seeds. What else did I put in there? Chia seeds, ashwagandha powder, and organic beet powder. So I know it sounds disgusting. Like if I say this to my grandma or my grandpa, they'd be like, you're gross. But it was good. It was like a peanut butter and jelly type of smoothie. But anyway, so who is ready to learn about taking massive action in their business to achieve massive results? If you're ready, drop me an emoji in the comments as you're joining in. Let me know that you're joining. Let me know where you're from and all that good stuff. Let's make this interactive. Let's make this fun. There's so much goodness about to come your way. So before we begin, by the way, if you've never met me before, hi, my name's Barbara Iuliano, and I am the host of this amazing community, the Land of Me Coaches. I am also a business and confidence coach, and I work with women all over the world to help them build online businesses of their dreams. I've been coaching for about 5 years, and every year it just gets more magical and more beautiful, and it's just amazing. I love the clients that I work with. I love the work that I do, and I love the impact and income that I get to make. So awesome. I'm not going to spend like an hour introducing myself. You'll definitely get to know me more in this community if you're a part of it. So welcome if you're new. And to start today, I want to talk a little bit about, hi Brianna, hi Sabine, is that how I say it? Sabine or Sabine? Let me know if I'm saying it wrong. And hi Monica, welcome, thank you for joining. I want to talk about what massive action means and why it 100% would lead to massive results. And this is super broad. Like obviously massive results is going to mean different things for everyone. For some people, it's going to be their first client. For other people, it's going to be their first 20K month. For other people, it's going to be their first 1,000 people in their email list. So massive results is a really broad term that could be completely different things for each of you. But how I know that massive action is the thing that's going to take you to massive results is because massive action to me means the action that you take until you get the result. So what I see a lot in the online space, what I see a lot in life, like even family members and friends, like what I see a lot in life overall is that we don't take massive action, right? Like, and I personally have done this so many times. We're like, yeah, I'm going to take action. And then we take a little bit of action and then we stop. And then we take a little bit of action and then we stop. And then we take a little bit of action and then we stop. And then we stop for a really, 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 really long time. And then we come back and then we take a little bit of action. So that's not really taking massive action. That's just taking a little bit of action, not getting the result that you want, or getting discouraged, or it becoming a little bit hard and then quitting. That's not going to get you fully booked. That's not going to get you clients. That's not going to get your business to 6 figures. That's not the thing that's going to help you generate success. Massive action is the thing that's going to help you achieve any goal that you have. Obviously, if you know me, you know that my unique framework is a mix between intuition, confidence, and strategy. So obviously, we're going to align that massive action with intuition and what's in alignment to you. But that means that sometimes your intuitive pulls are not going to feel comfortable, and sometimes you're going to fail, and sometimes it's not going to be super fun, but we're still going to take that action until it happens. What massive action is not, okay, is doing your for life. Okay, so moving, I'm going to give you an example. So you've been scared to do a live stream for months, but you do your first live stream and you're like, oh my God, I'm so courageous. I'm going to do this. I can't wait for people to show up. Then no one shows up, and then you never do a live stream again. What massive action is not is starting to promote your discovery calls or your sales calls or consultation calls, whatever you call them, and 3 days go by and no one books them, and then you stop promoting them. What massive action is not is being in the middle of a launch, sending 2 or 3 launch emails, and then no one's buying. People are clicking to your sales page, but no one's buying the program, and then you quit the launch, right? Like, or you don't show up to the plan that you set to do, right? Like maybe you had more emails or more live streams or more reach outs or more strategic steps that you had to take, but you're like, oh my God, 3 emails in, no one wants this. I'm out. That's not massive action. And I can give you hundreds of examples of what massive action is not. But it's pretty much those things that you commit to that you don't follow through until the very end. So a little disclaimer, and I think this is like as a piece of inspiration. It's like when we're building a business, really we need to come to terms with this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will understand your dreams and your vision more than you do. And nobody will care about your results and your progress and your income and your business and the things that you want to achieve and your dreams more than you. Right? So like you can have a super supportive partner, you can have a super unsupportive partner. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, no one will care more than you. So when you really embrace this truth, right? Because like, okay, so when we start a business, we have like visions of like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to live this lifestyle, it's going to create this freedom for me, I'm going to work with this type of clients, I'm going to make this type of impact. No one understands really what's going on in our minds. So while we're taking massive action, we need to know that we are 100% responsible for the things that we want to create in here. The things that only we can ambition and the things that we can only desire as much as we do, we need to constantly move towards them. Hey, Talina, welcome, lady. We need to constantly move towards them with that mindset of like, this is my duty. This is my responsibility. These are my dreams. Like, no one can do this but me. And especially if you are a super, like a lot of my clients are high achieving, big dreaming women. So like if you're super high achieving and big, like you have big dreams, you have to do big things, right? Like big dreams equals big things all the darn time, AKA massive action. So through this training, I kind of want you to put like your CEO hat on, and I want you to even right now, not even wait until afterwards, because I think sometimes we do that. We'll watch a training and then we'll be like, yeah, after the training, I'll start implementing. But I want to give you something to implement right now, which is put your CEO hat on and start really leaning into the idea of like, I am going to make this happen, right? Like I am going to keep taking the actions that I need to take until I get the results that I want to get. Okay, so just put that hat on, start getting into that energy, start getting into like that vibration of like, this is who I am and this is who I'm choosing to become, because that's going to help you not just through this training, but also while you're taking so much action in your business, which if anything, I hope this training inspires you and guides you to do just that. Hi, Suzanne. She says, yay, spot on. Love that. Love that you agree. Yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking, guys. I want a conversation here. Okay, let's see. What else do I have? I have notes so I don't distract myself like a million times. Okay, this is, I've said this in many different ways, but like this is a good definition to what massive action is not. Massive action is not quitting when something doesn't work, quitting when something gets hard, quitting when you're uncomfortable, quitting when you get scared. That's not massive action. That's like tiny action, right? Like that's like the action that will get you maybe a little bit ahead, but it will keep you stuck there. And so throughout your business, there will be so many ups and downs. And one of the most important things that you could do, right? Like I could talk intuition all day long. I could talk confidence all day long. I could talk strategy all day long. But one of the most important things that you can do is stay consistent. Stay consistent. You will hear me say this a million times, but if you're not making the money that you want, and if you're not seeing the results that you want, ask yourself, have I really been consistent? Like, am I really, truly, deeply being consistent? And I'm not saying, I mean, I'm a little sensitive. I'm a little bit of an empath. I have to really take care of my own energy and my own self. So sometimes I have to take a few steps back, and that's okay. So I'm not saying like, drive yourself crazy, go to burnout, overwhelm yourself. I'm just saying, are you present with your business every single day? Right? Because if you had a job, you would be present for your job every single day that you go to work. So that's the first question. That's like a super important question that I want you to ask yourself every single day. If you're not at the level that you want to be, am I being consistent? And if not, what can I do to create more consistency in my business? Most of the time, it's all about continuing to take the action that you set yourself to do in the first place. And if you don't know what actions to take, not to worry. We're going to talk about that at the end. So there's 3 things that I'm going to talk about today. So learn how to show up in your business like a wildly successful entrepreneur so that you can get the clients that you deserve, which is what we're talking about right now. We're also going to talk about what to do if you're ready to change your feelings of stuckness once and for all. That's my next topic. And then last but not least, I'm also going to talk about specific actions that you need to be taking right now to hit 2K, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, whatever K you're at this moment in your business months. So if you are like, yeah, I get the idea, but what do I do? Don't worry, we'll get there. Okay, so here's also something I see a lot. I see a lot of people, and the clients that I work with that get the most amazing, incredible like results are the ones who are willing to consistently take action and do the work. Like, this is really the secret. Like, there is no secret, but if there was a secret, I would say this is one of them. So here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to go into like, I'm going to go crazy in my business, go all in for an entire week, show up, go crazy, work 10-hour days, do everything, do the launch, do the live stream, do this, grow my community, boom, 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 do all the uncomfortable things. And then you're so burnt out that the next week you're like, okay, but I need to take a step back. See, like, that's the first thing that's going to stop you from taking massive action, because you're on a roller coaster of like, I'm going all in and then I'm going all out. I'm going all in and then I'm going all out. I much rather you see just go in and stay in, right? And when you get comfortable with being in, then level up to like, okay, maybe some weeks I can do a little bit more. And then maybe some weeks I can do a little bit more. But what you want to do to take massive action and get those massive results, please put a $sign every time I say massive action or massive results. I will be rich in this training. But what you want to do to achieve that is you want to build sustainability in your action-taking process. So if you're super excited about something, and most of us are excited at the beginning, right? Like, the beginning of anything is always the most exciting. Like the beginning of a diet, the beginning of a relationship, the beginning of a project, the beginning of a book, the beginning of an idea, the beginning of a road trip. Like, that's usually the most exciting piece. So we go all in, we go crazy, and then we burn our resources. And guess what? Once the beginning honeymoon exciting phase is over, you're burnt out and then you're out. So you're like in and out, in and out, in and out. That is the quickest way for you to not take the massive action that's necessary. So build sustainable action. I'd rather you take less action more consistently than more action inconsistently. Does that make sense? So I'd rather you take less action more consistently than more action inconsistently. I had to think about that. I'm like, don't say it wrong. Another thing that goes into really becoming that entrepreneur who's constantly taking that massive action is you need to get super comfortable with being true to your word. Okay. Personally, I definitely was not perfect at this. I was really, really, really bad. I'm still not the best, but it's so important that if you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. Okay. So if I say I'm going to do this training on Friday, I actually do the training on Friday. If I say that I'm going to post on Instagram every day, I actually post on Instagram every day. If I say I'm going to try out a strategy for 90 days, you really try out that strategy for 90 days. You have to be true to your words so that you can reinforce to yourself that you're not just capable, but committed to taking massive action throughout the entire journey. I'm just going to scroll down really quick. Hi, Ryan. Welcome. So definitely stop breaking promises to yourself. And you can start with little things, right? Like if you promise yourself that you're going to wake up early today, then wake up early, right? Like if you promise yourself that you're not going to eat chocolate over the weekend, don't eat chocolate over the weekend. If you promise yourself that you're going to promote your freebie one time per week, promote it one time per week, right? Like you need to start getting used to being to the things that you commit to, because what happens is the more that you do that, the more that you're going to lean into doing things that feel uncomfortable, and the more consistent that you're going to be with taking massive action. So that is going to build up, and eventually you're going to be like, okay, so I commit to this giant launch and I commit to running this group program, and that's a lot of work, but you know what, I stay true to my word, and that's something that I've been practicing, so I'm going to go from beginning to end. And that's how you take massive action, and you don't quit in the middle. Can I get some dollar signs? Okay, see, here's the other thing. We need to manage our time wisely. It is absolutely impossible to take massive action when all we're doing is adding to-dos and ideas into our already busy schedule. So I see this with clients when we first start working together, where it's like, I'm still working a full-time job, but here are my ideas, and here are my ideas, and here are my ideas, and here's my other idea. We pick an idea, and then it's like, I don't have time to execute this idea, but here's my other idea. So it is so important for you to understand that you're a human being who lives in a world that only has 24 hours a day. And those 24 hours are so valuable to you. If you really want to be consistent with the actions in your business that are going to get you results and the ideas that really matter to you, the only way to do that is to say no. The only way to do that is to know, like, I only have this amount of time per day, and this is the only thing that I can do. And that can feel so uncomfortable to say, oh, I can't do it all, right? Like we have this feeling inside of like, I got it, I can do it all. And here's what I have to say to that. You can do it all. You just cannot do it all at once. Okay? I'm throwing so many one-on-one coaching tips here. Like I'm literally talking to you guys about the same thing that I talk to my clients. But seriously, you can, I would be such a bad coach if I told you that you can't do it all. That's horrible. I'm totally limiting your beliefs of what's possible. But the reality is that you can do it all. You just cannot do it all at once. Okay. So in order to step into that CEO who actually consistently takes massive action, you have to come to terms with that idea that you just cannot do it all at once. And that's okay. You'll do something from beginning to end until you make that happen. And then you'll do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And eventually you'll build team and you'll have assistants and you'll have OBMs and people to help you do more at once. But when it's just you running the show 24 hours a day, not just that, you're probably a mom, you probably have a job, you probably have responsibilities, volunteer work, your own personal life, your own self-care, your relationship, cooking meals, driving around, grocery shopping, it's like, it's a lot, sister. So just come to terms with that. And then the last thing in this piece of the training is It is so important to not let your situations determine your actions. This, like if you can get something out of part 1 of this training, is this. Just because something came up doesn't mean that you're not going to keep acting in your business, right? So like your situations do not ever need to determine your capacity for success. Now, is it going to be perfect if you have a situation that comes up and then you have to move through that and still take action? No, right? So like, I think last year, I was launching my group coaching program. And this is a program that I launch once a year. It's called Overlooked to Fully Booked. It's amazing. I love it. Everyone loves it. Like, seriously, it's an incredible group coaching program. If you can get on it at the end of the year when I launch it again, I highly recommend it. But I was launching that group program. It's one of my biggest launches of the year, and one of my dogs passed away. So like, here's where a situation could totally take me away from taking massive action, you know, but you get to choose what to do there, right? So like, was it my best launch? Like, actually financially it was really good, but was it the best that I could have showed up? No. Like, some days I had to sleep in until 12 because I was really sad, right? Like, sometimes my live streams were not so well planned. Sometimes my emails were like stitched together and they were not the highest quality of work that I could have done, right? But it was the best that I could do there. The point is, you do not let a situation determine your actions. Sometimes you may need to take more care of yourself. You may need to take some time. You may, you may need to write like not so excellent emails, or not show up the best for your live streams or whatever, or you may need to sleep in, or you may need to like rearrange your day or whatever, but you get to keep showing up for the thing that you committed to. And this takes time, right? Like, I was not always like this. I was a total quitter. Like, I was the girl, like, okay, this got hard, I'm out. I'm sweating, I'm out. But you really can't become that person who's like, okay, I committed to this, I'm going to stick to it, rain or shine. So try not to let your circumstances and your situations determine your actions. Because if you do that, then you're constantly going to have an excuse as to why you should quit, as to why you should not keep going, as to why you should not keep taking action. Because the reality of life is 50% of it is going to be amazing, and then 50% of it is going to be really crappy, right? Like, we're going to have our loved ones and our puppies who pass away. We are going to have brothers and siblings and kids who scream at us. We're going to have days where we're just feeling incredibly overwhelmed. That's just going to happen. So we need to expect them, and we need to be committed to still show up through those days. Those circumstances do not determine our actions, and they do not deter us from success. They do not at all diminish our capacity to succeed and achieve and get the results that we want. So, who is with me so far? What are your thoughts on this? How are you feeling about this? I really want to know your input before I move on to the next piece, which is, have you been feeling stuck lately? Kind of like you have so many ideas and so many dreams and so many things that you think that you should be doing and that you could be doing, but you're just not doing it. Now we're going to talk about how to move through that and how to change that. I'm going to give you the biggest, easiest, most simplistic foundation to what to do here. If you've been feeling stuck and you haven't been taking the action that you know that you need to be taking, the number one thing that you need to do is not to find the strategy, is not to hire a coach. Well, I'm going to go back to this because I don't fully agree with that, but it's not to read a million emails or to watch a million trainings or to read a million books or to wait for motivation or no. The number one thing that you need to do is to change your thoughts. I know I used to want to punch people when they said that, but it really is true. Your thoughts are the thing that keep you stuck. So I said I'm going to go back to the coach thing because, I mean, if you are working with a coach who focuses on mindset and confidence, then that person can help you change your thoughts. So that's good. But if you're thinking of like, oh my God, I'm stuck, so I'm going to hire like a Facebook ad strategist. That's not what you need to do. That's not going to work. You need to change your thoughts. If you're stuck, there is probably a thought that's creating an emotion for you that's keeping you stuck. Example, okay? Let me know if this resonates or if it's making sense for you. You know that you need to write content, and you know that you need to get visible, and you know that the only way to sell your services is to let the world know that your services exist. However, you're not doing any of that. You're not writing content, you're not getting visible, and you're like, I really need to do this, I really need to do this, I really need to do this. Your mind automatically goes into like, okay, what do I do? Do I need to take another class? Do I need to learn how to write more? Do I need to be better? Do I need to be more of an expert? Do I need to get another certification? Strategy, 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 strategy. But really, if you're stuck, it's because of a thought. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, I'm not a good writer. Or maybe you're thinking to yourself, this is not going to work. Or maybe you're thinking to yourself, I'm not good enough to be a coach right now. Or maybe you're thinking to yourself, what if someone comments like a hateful comment, right? So like the thing that's stopping you from actually taking that action is not a strategic thing. It's always a thought. The thought is stopping you from taking that action. So I want you to take a second to think about where you're stuck in your business and where you're not taking the action that you need to be taking. And then think about what thoughts are coming up around that situation. I do this all the time, like every single day, most days I do this, where it's like, okay, so why am I not opening up? Okay, so this actually just happened. I'll give you a personal example. I was like, by the way, hi, Ryan, Renee, Lizzie, Jacqueline, and Yo-Yo. I think that's how you say your name, Yo-Yo. Let me know if that's how you say it or if I'm saying it wrong. But I recently had this situation where some of my clients are ending. So I always open up a few one-on-one spots when that happens. Even though a lot of my clients keep re-signing with me for a while, I open up a few spots. And it's that time again. It's been months. Like, guys, it's been months since I opened up like a full one-on-one spot for my long-term program. So I was kind of like resisting the idea. I was like not writing my sales post for it. I was not really like strategizing around it. I was not getting the spots out into the world. So I sat down and I'm like, okay, so what are my thoughts about this? And what came up for me, it's like, I'm scared to book a client now, right? Because if I book a client now, that means I will have more clients. And I don't know if I want that, right? Like I didn't know if I wanted more time in my calendar for that. So the thing stopping me was not the content or the writing or the not knowing what to do or the this or that. It was my thought about what that meant to me, right? So you really need to think about like, what is your thought about it? You know, sometimes my thought is like, no one's going to see this, right? Like, why am I not writing content? Because I feel like no one's going to see it. Let's just be honest, right? Like those are like just random thoughts that come to our mind, which is so not true. Like this is what I always talk to my coach about. It's like these thoughts are so not true because I have so much engagement on my posts. Like it is ridiculous to think that no one is seeing my stuff. But the thought can stop me from actually taking that action. So if you've been feeling stuck, there is a thought there that is stopping you from taking action. And your main job is to switch that thought. Let's see, what time is it? It's 1:31. Okay, I'm aiming to end like at 1:45, 1:15 maybe too. Well, like 1:45. I don't know if you guys know my friend Brooke Schultz, but I'm hanging out with her today and we're gonna do some work together by the water and I'm super excited. So I have to leave by 2 for sure. So Talina says, I needed to hear this. I have loads of ideas and I'm trying to put everything in place. I love that. I love when things reach you at the right place and like at the right stage. And it's like that like source of inspiration. I love that. Okay, so change your thoughts. If your thoughts are crappy, you will not take action. So this takes consistent effort. Sometimes it takes more effort than the strategic work itself, right? So like I will go into like, well, I just need to strategize around my content and change my copy and change my model on this and that. And really all I have to do is just spend more time changing my thoughts. I much rather you spend 3 hours journaling around what thoughts you have and then choosing new thoughts to believe than you spend 3 hours sitting behind the computer telling you that you need to do this, but then you don't do it and you don't take action. Because after you spend those 3 hours changing the thoughts that you need to change, then writing the content is going to take you 20 minutes. Because you change the thoughts, you feel better, and then you write it. But this is consistent work, right? Like especially for those of us who struggle with like confidence at times and who struggle with mindset stuff and who can be a little bit more pessimistic, and our brains are not naturally wired to like think optimistically. This is daily consistent work. That is how you're going to get unstuck. You're not going to get unstuck from doing this work once a day and then that's it. Like, oh, I did it once and it didn't work. Yeah, of course it didn't work because you're not doing it consistently. You're not taking massive action on it. So if we're not taking action and we have been stuck for a while, it is because of nothing more, nothing less than our own thoughts. It's not because you don't have time. It's not because you don't have money. It's not because something bad happened. It's because of the way that you're choosing to think about the situation. Okay? So can you drop me an emoji if you promise to go after this training, open up your journal, and think about that one piece where you're feeling stuck and you're not taking massive action in, and release all of the thoughts that you're thinking, which, by the way, are not the truth, right? Like, just because you think someone's gonna buy doesn't mean that that's a fact. Just because you think someone's not seeing your stuff doesn't mean that people are not seeing your stuff. Thoughts are they're just thoughts. They mean nothing. Like, they literally mean nothing. They're not true. They're not false. They're just a thought, right? So can you spend some time just letting those out and then choosing to believe thoughts that actually get you to take action, right? So like, a better thought for me was, I am ready to take an extra 3 one-on-one clients because I have the space and I have the energy, and it's the thing that feels really good for me right now. Because if I think otherwise, then I'm not going to open up the spots and I'm not going to show up for it, right? So if you're feeling stuck, I'm going back to like writing content, with writing content and get invisible, a more empowering thought than no one sees my stuff, this is not going to work, I'm not an expert enough. It's like, I am really passionate about what I do, and it's my duty to get my words out there and to get my business visible, even if it may not be perfect at first. Even if there's still space for improvement, right? Like, there's always something better that you can believe, always. So that leads us to the last part of this Friday training, which, by the way, guys, if you're in this group, make sure that you have notifications turned on, and make sure that you click on that little thing that comes up that says get notified when Barb's goes live. And also make sure that you sign up for the trainings, because I send out reminders on Fridays, so you don't miss them. They're on Fridays at 1 p.m., but you always want to sign up, because I'm always either sending the reminder, the email, and sometimes a little extra gift. It really depends. But I create an event in the group, so you definitely want to click on the event, say that you're going, sign up with the link, and then you'll get a reminder email and everything that comes with that afterwards. Okay, so part 3 of this training. So what are the specific actions that you need to be taking to reach your income goals? I need to take a deep breath here, because there's so much that I could say. I kind of want to, I want to simplify it for you, okay? And I want to simplify it because overwhelm goes against massive action. But the number one thing is work on your confidence every single day. I know I'm not giving you like the perfect sales funnel or the perfect like client acquisition strategy, or, you know, how to run a challenge, step 1 through 10, right? Like, I'm not giving you that right now, because before you even get to that, you need to be confident in yourself, and you need to believe and value the services and the programs and the products that you provide for your people. Otherwise, there is no strategy that I could give you that will help you generate success, because you're going to book calls, and then you're not going to be confident, and then they're going to flop. Because you're going to launch a program and you're not going to be confident, and you're not going to show up for the process, and you're not going to take massive action, and it's not going to work. Or I'm going to tell you how to run a challenge, and then you're not going to be confident about it, and you're going to have the wrong thoughts about it, and you're not going to show up as much as you should. So people are not going to connect with you, and they're not going to want to buy. Or even worse, I'll give you all of that and you won't do any of it. Right? Like you'll just make up an excuse like, oh, it's because I was tired. It's because I was busy. It's because I'm a mom. It's because of this. It's because of that. But really, it's because you haven't worked on your confidence and the thoughts that you have at this moment. Okay? So to hit 2, 5, 10, 20K months, right? Like I'm literally just saying like all the income milestones that I help my clients with. The number one thing that you need to do is work on your confidence every single day. And I have some people who tell me like, yeah, but I'm good in the confidence department. And I'm like, no problem. Totally fine. We don't have to work on that. But if it does come up, are you open to doing the work? Yes, absolutely. And it always comes up because you can be super confident with live streaming, but then you could be super unconfident with writing. You could be super confident with hopping on the phone, but then you could be super unconfident with sending a sales email. Confident doing public speaking, which that's a really rare case, and really super unconfident being a guest on a podcast, right? So like the confidence thing will always come up. That's why I always know that it's work for everyone. So step number 2, action number 2 that you need to consistently be taking massive action on is getting visible like your business depends on it. Because your business depends on it. Really, like no one knows that your business exists unless you let them know that it exists. It is such a simple concept, but sometimes it's so simple that we look for more, right? Like that can't be it. Like it's not just about getting visible. Like what else do I need to know? Like, and it's not just about getting visible, but it's mostly about getting visible, right? Like people need to know that you have a business. People need to know what your message is. They need to know what you have to offer. And you need to get visible like your business depends on it, because it does. If you don't do that, no one will know what you have. No one will know that you're in business. No one will know what you have to offer, right? Like you're not going to book calls. You're not going to make sales. You're not going to grow your community. If people like, something really interesting that happens a lot with my clients when they're first starting to do something. For example, I'll give you an example. Some of my clients, when they first start promoting their freebie, they'll be like, yeah, okay, so I got like 2 signups for my freebie, which by the way, that's a win. Can we celebrate that? Because you had 0 before. But then I'll be like, okay, awesome, amazing. Let's celebrate that. And then they'll be like, yeah, but I'm really disappointed because I really want more people. Okay, cool. So first, let's go into like, what are your thoughts around it? Like, what are you telling yourself that's stopping you? And then let's go into your strategy, right? So like, what are you doing? Where are you posting? How are you framing your posts? What angle are you taking? How are you positioning this? You know, where are you showing up? Where are you not showing up? How many times are you doing it? And then when we go back to that piece, it's usually like, well, I said I was going to promote it like 10 times and I only promoted it like twice. Because visibility really is such a big piece, right? Like sometimes it's just that simple. Like you just haven't promoted it enough. You haven't gotten visible enough. People haven't had the opportunity to see your message as much as they need to. And sometimes, and especially in the online world, people need to see it more than once to actually take action on it. So your job is to take massive action, even if it feels repetitive, because for other people, it doesn't. And if it does, then they're not your people. Right? Like your job is not to please everyone or to make sure that everyone's happy. Your job is to get your business out there. And I always like to give this example, which is if you're afraid of getting visible because you're afraid of annoying people, I mean, how many times have you seen the same Geico commercial? Like I legit see that commercial at least 5 times when I'm watching Jeopardy every night. At least 5 times, the same commercial, you know, and personally, I don't think it's annoying because I'm a business coach. So I really like, I embrace like things about businesses that the normal person doesn't. But like, my boyfriend's family will be like, oh my God, how many times are they going to put that commercial on? And Geico's like, I don't care. If you don't like it, there's nothing you're going to do about it. We're getting clients from this commercial. You're still watching it, you know? And it's kind of like, you have to have that perspective of like, it's my business. It's my duty. Again, going back to like the beginning of this training, it's your duty to show up for your dreams. It's your duty to let people know that your business exists, that your programs exist, that you're here to serve them, because otherwise they're not going to come knocking on your door and be like, knock, knock, I'm ready to work with you. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to join your community. I'm ready to get to know you and who you are. It's just not going to happen if you don't consistently get visible. Obviously, getting visible is going to be a different strategy for everyone. Some of you are going to leverage podcasts. Some of you are going to leverage Facebook ads. Some of you are going to leverage organic marketing. Some of you are going to leverage Facebook groups. I can't go into that because there's so many ways to build a business that if I go into that, like, it's impossible. Like, I would need to know what your business is, where you want to go, what your strengths are, and things like that to help you kind of figure out like a strategic path. But I can't do that. That's something really that I do with my one-on-one clients, because we can really go into their business and figure out like what are the specific visibility steps and strategies that they need to follow. Okay, so thing number 3, grow a community and nurture it. Grow a community and nurture it. This is so key to hitting big income goals. This is so key if you want to build a 6-figure business. You need to have a community that's constantly growing, and you need to nurture it. There is 0 points in getting people into your email list, and there's 0 points in getting people into your Facebook group if you're not constantly engaging with them, if you're not constantly sharing your message, if you're not constantly adding value, if you're not constantly selling to them, right? Like, you need to constantly be growing your community, and you need to constantly be nurturing it. That really, like, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that's like a foundational piece that every online business has. You need a following. You really, really do. I mean, can you book some clients without a huge following? Absolutely. Can you book out your practice with a small community? Yes, I have so many clients do that. Can you keep leveling up if you don't keep growing and nurturing your community? It's very hard. It really is, because you can go on a podcast and then someone else's podcast, and they can listen to your message and they can listen to your thing, and then they hear you once. But if you don't bring them to your corner, if you don't bring them to your community, they'll hear your message and forget that you exist, right? So you have to figure out a way to constantly connect and communicate with your people, and to constantly build that relationship with your people. Like, that's the whole purpose of building a community. You're building a relationship, you're building a connection, you're building an audience who's ready to buy from you if you get them ready to buy from you. So that's like a super key point. If you want to hit 5-figure months, you need to constantly grow and nurture your community. You don't need thousands of people. You don't need millions of people. I mean, you see this group, it's only like 2,400 people, and I book up my coaching practice every single freaking time. And I've been doing it even when it was smaller, right? So it's like, you don't need massive numbers. I have clients who have communities of like 300 people, 200 people, and they still hit their income goals, right? Like, it's not like, it's about the numbers, and it's also not about the numbers. The point is, you need to constantly grow your community, and you constantly need to nurture it if you want to hit those income goals. So those are actions that you always need to be taking. I have 2 more to give you. So the next action is sell, 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 and then sell some more. So many of us get stuck in, I'm going to create a freebie, I'm going to grow my community, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, boom, 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 boom. And we don't sell, we don't launch, we don't sell, we don't promote. We promote our calls a little bit here and a little bit there, but we don't do it as much as we should be doing it. Again, think about Geico. Whenever you're feeling like you're promoting too much, or like you're selling too much, or like you're gonna annoy people, think about Geico. Seriously, like, just go back to Geico. Like, I'm actually gonna look up right now. Where's my phone? How much does Geico make? How much, or how much is it worth? Just so you have like an idea. obviously completely different business models, completely different business, but let's see if we can find this really quick. I don't want to stop it. Okay, so if you value Geico the Warren Buffett way, which he has, like, I don't know if you guys buy stocks, like if any of you is into the stock market, but they have like the Warren Buffett created this specific formula to value a stock, like a genius. So if you value it in his way with his formula, based on the premiums that they earned on Q3 of 2017, they're valued at $26.2 billion. $26.2 billion. That is because they are not scared to show the same freaking commercial. Okay? So I want you to not be scared to show the same freaking thing. If someone gets annoyed at you selling what you have, they're never going to buy. Right? Like, that's just the reality of things. And it's like, I'm sorry, I would love to keep you in my community and I would love to keep you as part of my business, but I have people to help. I have people to support. There's so many women out there who are ready to reach their income goals and their dreams. Like, I don't have time for the one person who's going to get annoyed because I'm launching something. Okay, so that's just to give you a little perspective. And the last action that you need to constantly be taking is do the uncomfortable thing every single day. Okay, so there's going, when you I want you to do the most uncomfortable thing every single day. For me, that's following up. I hate following up. It is so uncomfortable to me. I mean, it's getting better and better and better. Obviously, I've done it so much that now it's a little bit of second nature to me. But there was a point where I hated it. But you know what? Following up is what made me most of my money. Like, following up after a call, because, okay, here's why. Because I'm not the type of coach who pressures you on the phone call. If you need time to think about it, you need time to think about it, right? Like, I'm not going to pressure you there. But guess what? If someone hops on the phone with me, it's because they really want to work with me. Okay? So that means that if they need time to think about it and I don't follow up with them, there's a really big probability that they want to work with me. And if I don't follow up, I may lose that sale. That simple. Now, if I don't do the uncomfortable thing, if I don't take that uncomfortable action every single day, do you know how many sales I'm leaving on the table? A lot. So I want you to think, like, what's the uncomfortable thing that you know that you need to be doing in your business, but you're not? That could be going live every Friday or Monday or whatever. That could be sending out your weekly email. That could be following up after your calls. That could be writing promotional content. Do the thing that feels uncomfortable every single day and expand what uncomfortable means to you. Because eventually what felt uncomfortable once will not. Right? And I mean, if any of you have in here have worked with me, you know that when we start working together, so much feels uncomfortable to you. And then it's like, oh yeah, remember when I used to hate content? Remember when I used to hate this? Remember when I didn't think I could do that? Remember when I didn't know how to do this? Remember when I was petrified of doing that? Right? Like, you will get to that point and then a new thing will come up. But the only way to get to a point where you feel comfortable with things, it's by doing the uncomfortable thing every single day. Woo! That was so good. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Hold on. Talina says, I admit I got lazy from being on vacation. Now I'm getting back into the swing of things. Yes, you have to be visible to get results. I love that. I love that. And I'm sure you have experienced that when you get the most results is when you are getting visible. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. This has been amazing. I've had such a good time. This is information that I've been wanting to get out for a really long time. So yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you start executing on everything that you've learned and you start taking action until you get the result that you want, not until it gets scary, not until it gets uncomfortable. You take action until you get that result. That is what massive action, massive results is all about. And here's the last thing. I have opened up 3 one-on-one coaching spots to work with me. I only take a handful of people at a time. My one-on-one coaching is most of the time full. I only open it a few times a year. So if you're really ready to take this consistent action and to create the right strategies and the right confidence and the right mindset in your business, that's going to get you to fully booking out your practice, getting those dreamy like 5-figure months, and all of the things that you dream of and all of those desires that you have that are your responsibility to make happen, go ahead and book a call with me. If you're really ready and committed to have a business partner by your side to guide you through this entire process. I'm going to post a link in the comments. But if this is calling you, if this is like, oh my God, this feels really good to me, I really want to move my business forward, move everything forward and get to that next level, hop on a call. The spots, sorry, I literally have squirrel brain. I just saw an ant going up my cable and I got distracted. But I only have 3 spots. They will definitely get filled up this month. I do not work with everyone. If I do not think I can help you, if I do not think I'm the coach for you, I will 100% direct you to the coach that will be able to help you, or I will direct you to the thing that I think you need to do. So you don't have to be stressed if you're feeling the nudge, if you're feeling the pull, if you're feeling your intuition telling you like, this is what I need someone that knows how to take me from point A to point B. Let's do this. Let's do this. That's it. I will post that link over there. Let me know what you guys think. If you're watching the replay, tell me that you're watching the replay. Jessa, Jaritza, Yo Young, Jacqueline, Lizzie, Talina, Renee, Ryan, Lori, Catherine, Phoebe, Suzanne, Monica, Sabine, and Brianna. Thank you for joining me, ladies. I cannot wait to hear from you guys, and I hope this was valuable for you. Remember, I'm going to do a training every single Friday at 1 p.m., so make sure you're signed up for it. Make sure that you're signed up for notifications, and also make sure that you get notified when I go live. So have an amazing weekend. I will probably live stream a little bit more when I'm with my friend Brooke later on, but we'll talk soon. Bye.